Right, we're ready to go, Trina.
We are, Chaff.
Well, another bright day at the office, I imagine, but the reality is that today wasn't a very busy day as far as council activity.
Speak for yourself. I thought it was an incredible... We haven't stopped all day.
Well, yeah, that's probably right. I think the workshop took a bit of time. Transgrid's presentation to us, look, you know...
Public forum?
That's right. They had a number of presentations at the public forum over a couple of development applications. But getting back to Transgrid, I think, you know, it's a constantly movable feast, but they did indicate that the EIS is out for the community, well, the council and the community to comment on it. And from my understanding, you'll probably need a semi-trailer to cart the document around. It's got a number of different areas that they've addressed, and
I think there's 19 separate little issues
headings,
that you can go in and click on. And
that's right. So it's a hefty tome, and they've indicated that, you know, the normal consultation time is 28 days. Well, 28 days is not enough time to go through the EIS in great detail. And look, the future of our community depends on how we manage this exercise. So council will be pretty active in it, and I would recommend to the rest of the community that they take an active interest in it, even if it's only one section of it, because, you know, this is our one and only chance to have a say in the outcome that'll impact on us for probably the next 100 years. So.
And I think those who came to do the presentation really were left in no doubt as to what the sentiment, not only from council but across the community, is. And from our perspective, we're fighting for our landowners, for our future and for our region. This isn't just about money to us. It's not just about how to put it or get it through the cheapest way. This is also about preserving generational land and farming and food production and tourism. So,
and it's about doing it once and doing it properly. We've got an opportunity to embrace the new, well, the technology that's been around since the mid-50s, 60s in you know, undergrounding power. And, you know, we've got an example in Basslink, linking the mainland to Tasmania, both ways. You can transmit power both ways across the Bass Strait. So
underneath.
Under the sea, right, yeah.
So it's not rocket science, obviously. You did a couple of Merrill minutes today.
We did. I had a couple of Merrill minutes today. One pertained to the
country universities?
Well, the country university, we'll do that one first. There's an opportunity out there to establish a presence of the country university in Tumut. I think it's an issue that's been kicking around for some considerable amount of time here. The opportunity exists, and we need to get out and make it happen. So the council's going to gather the information and report back, I think, in November at the latest to council as to the way forward. We'll have a yarn to the country university people and just see what's involved. We've looked at potential places to establish it. We haven't made up our mind yet, but there's a number of places that we could be looking at. And from my point of view, it's the way of the future. It's a huge facility that you could have here so that our local citizens and kids and people who have a desire to further education can do so without necessarily wandering all over the countryside. So
you also did a Merrill minute on the planning for King George V Park up in
Tumbarumba. Yes, there's an opportunity for a full-blown kindergarten to be established there. We need to put a proposal to the Planning and Environment Department to allow that activity to happen on that land, and we've resolved to get underway and put that proposal to the Planning Department so that we can get approval as soon as possible to get that underway.
Nothing happens in an easy way.
That's right, it doesn't, and you know, we've got the organisation's got the funding, so we need to make sure that it gets underway. And look, at the best I think we can hope for is maybe prior to or after Christmas.
So we also had another couple of planning matters, and we've deferred both of them. The councillors around the table actually feel that we need more information in order to be able to make the right decisions, because these are significant applications, and we want to do the right thing by everyone.
And look, it's certainly hard to to balance all the conflicting and competing issues on the exercise, and unless you take the time to go out and particularly look at it on the ground, you can be making decisions in not recognising all the issues that people are actually
Well,
dealing with.
things look very different on paper or on Google Maps, so to go out and actually see firsthand and be able to experience what we're talking about is really, really important.
It's important, yeah.
Event sponsorship,
Yeah,
something else that's really
right.
important. Oh my Lord.
That's right. We had a princely sum of, $50,000 available. And
60,000.
Well, we
But we
kept
got
a few
$360,000+ worth of applications.
proposals. That's right. And
Maybe we should do it as a lottery, Chaff.
Well,
everybody
I
can enter, and it's a tough thing deciding where that money goes while you're trying to spread it across the wider community and the council area.
And there's got to be some level of equality across the organisation. So we try and get the balance right. Not always happens. And look, the idea of thinking you're going to get funded for your entire project is it's pretty remote. We've got to spread the largesse, for want of a better term, across our whole local government area. So
it's public money, and how it gets divided up is really important. Now the aerodrome.
The aerodrome.
Yep.
Look, it's a constant issue. The aerodrome. We've got how we go about it, dealing with CASA,
RFS,
acquiring the land, dealing with the RFS, the conflicting issues regarding the length of the runway, the floodplain. So
Geotech,
it's an ongoing exercise. So we're gathering some more information in that domain, and sooner rather than later.
And we've actually asked for more aviation input
expertise
and some expertise, so that we have a full understanding of what the impact is, the length of the runway, and also the impact of the weather on planes being able to take off, and with how much the load. So it's a really complex issue, and we did have a proposal up today, an option 2, and that was one of our hotly debated or discussed issues. So
it certainly wouldn't have extended the runway to the length suggested. However, there's a lot of issues that need to be considered before we're in a position to embrace the way forward. So
Now the odour. Do you want to touch on odour?
Look, this. It's I come regularly to Tumut from up in the hills, and I think once in the last month I've come to Tumut and not actually experienced the odour. And look, if I was a resident that had to suffer that indignity on a regular basis, I'd be wanting to know when it was going to stop. So look, the EPA are onto it. Yeah. However, it's still an issue, and they've got all the monitoring equipment. They're putting a considerable effort into trying to get on top of it.
And it's not our issue as a council to have to deal and manage with. It is the EPA that are dealing with the owners of the land site or the landfill site out there. So
but it's our role to represent the citizenry of our community, to make sure that it's not something that's falling off the radar. So that's in essence about it. As I said, pretty. Well, a number of issues discussed, and quite a bit of time spent, particularly on the airstrip and a couple of other issues. But
I'd actually like to acknowledge the people who came in for public forum.
Yep.
It makes it so much easier when people actually come and talk to everybody at the same time in the same way. We can ask the questions and everybody gets the answers. So it's some people find it takes a bit of courage to be able to come in and sit down. But it really is important. If you've got an issue that is to do with one of the reports within council,
feel free. Come in and have a yarn to us. You get 5 minutes, and we're a little lax with the 5 minutes, but we're happy to ask questions. And
we need to engage with our community.
Right.
We need you to talk with us. It's not about us having all that knowledge. So thank you.
The other comment too, I'd like to say that our acting general manager, Mr. Duncan Mitchell, and our senior staff did a magic job in keeping us informed today and making the meeting run smoothly. So,
Yeah.
and we've got a new general manager starting on Monday.
Well, sort of an old new
General manager. That's a bloke named Steve Pinnock. He was the general manager of Greater Hume up until 12 months ago, and we've been fortunate in securing his services. So, yep.
So that's a positive. Good way to end.
That's right.
It
Couldn't
is.
agree with you more.
Thanks, Chaff.
Thanks, Donna. See ya.